Should you use promoted listings on eBay? I'm gonna have to put the gloves on this one and battle all the dumbass information there is out there. I spent the better part of a day watching as many videos as I could to see what info was out there. And what I found was hilarious and sad all at the same time. You'll see what I mean when I get into it. But first, let me send out some props to Michael Sizemore1 for requesting this topic. What up, G? Now, let's get ready to rumble, or something like that. My goal here is to offer my 2 cents on the idea of eBay marketing in general, talk about promoted listings standard versus promoted listings advanced, and offer my advice as a 6-figure seller on whether you should use them or not based on what I do in my own business. Let's start with the first thing I heard many people complaining about on YouTube, eBay's marketing strategies. I truly believe that as a company, they do a decent job of putting themselves, which means our listings, out there for people to find and buy. I'll give you a quick example. I'm sure that when you're sitting on the can looking for stuff to buy on your phone, you Google the item you want and then see what comes up. As soon as you do that, it is very typical to see Amazon and eBay at the top of the search. This is happening because eBay is paying marketing dollars to have their name or our items in the Google search. This gives the Googler options when they want to buy something. You will also see other companies like Sony, Nikon, Best Buy, and others if you are searching for, let's say, a camera. If you guys have never ran ads on a backend before, I can tell you from experience that it is not cheap. It can cost you thousands a day to market your product or business and get customers funneled to your store. There are so many videos I watch on YouTube where morons were complaining about promoted listings programs like eBay owed them something with nothing in return. The main gripe was, it's a money grab. eBay wants more money. You gotta check my blood pressure now, man. Well, let me illuminate your life. eBay does want more money. It is a for-profit business, not a charity. They don't do for free. It is the same thing you are doing when you're marking up the prices of your items. If you buy an item for, say, $5 and are asking for a generous market rate of $50, why not ask for $30 or $20 or $10? It's because you want more money. It's the same for them. People are mad though because they have to pay additional fees. I'm here to tell you that it is the cost of doing business. Crying about it won't make you more money, but what it will do is affect your mood, which in turn affects your business, which in turn affects your sales in a negative manner. It's a domino effect. Let me discuss promoted listings standard versus promoted listings advanced. I can tell you that the latter is definitely not for beginners. The standard version is simple. You must pay a minimum of 2% of the sales price as an ad fee on top of your regular fees when your item sells, but only after it sells. The minimum, again, is 2% and the maximum is 100%. There is no dumbass coach math here. Guys, give it 110%. That always cracks me up, man. Promoted listings advanced is a little more involved and typically expensive as a marketing strategy goes. The way it works is PPC or pay-per-click. The idea is very simple. If eBay promotes your listing on the site or elsewhere, you pay them an agreed amount every time your listing gets clicked on. These two marketing strategies do work very well and won't bankrupt your business if you know how to use them properly. But is one better than the other? Hell no. It's apples and oranges. Each one has its purpose. That leads me to the fun part, giving my 2 cents on which to use and when. Promoted listing standard goes first because that's the one that I'm just going to assume is used by about 95% of all sellers on the platform without ever considering the advanced version. Standard promotions are a great way to stay competitive, but you should use them only when necessary. When is that, you might be asking? You should use promoted listings when you are in a saturated market. I'll use clothing as an example. If you have a Polo Ralph Lauren shirt for sale that is like $500 on eBay, then you need to get an edge. If someone has to look through 500 items to find yours, trust me, you want yours atop the pile. When you are doing research, or even better, if you know your market, you should know how many listings show up at the very top as sponsored. It says it right there on the listing. This means that they are paying for ad space. How much you use will be trial and error. Start with 2% and increase by 1% every couple of days and see where you rank. You have to give it just a bit of time for the search engine to recap and use the new structure. Once you are at the very top, then make a note of that to see what percentage it took to get there. If your margins can bear it, then just pay for the fee and keep rolling. You should not use promoted listings when you have a unique item. I'll use an item from my own sales history as an example. I had a vintage Sansui receiver, which was one of 10 on eBay. Only 10. That specific model was very hard to find and expensive. I put the listing up without promotion and it sold in 8 minutes. Seriously, it went for $550 or so in 8 minutes. I don't remember the actual number, but I know it was enough to buy me a new handgun. What probably happened is that the buyer had a filter or a bot searching for that item every minute of the day. As soon as they came up, sold. Just goes to show that it is unnecessary to promote unique, one-off, or items with low competition. Now, when should you use promoted listings advanced, if ever? The only time I recommend you use promoted listings advanced is when you have your own line of product, also called private label, or when you have an item that is super hot with aggressive competition. The other stipulation is that you shouldn't have just one, you must have multiples. Let's say you bought a pallet of Apple douche pods, AirPods. Using the PPC model makes sense because there is a ton of competition in that niche. I mean a ton. And if you don't believe me, put it in the search and see for yourself. But only after you watch this entire video, give it a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. See what I did there? Using promoted listings advanced for private label is a no-brainer. What you want is to climb the ranks quickly because you have an indefinite amount of your own product and you want to sell it over and over again. Once you have enough sales history to be organically at the top all the time, then stop the PPC. This is how I got one of my products similarly on Amazon all the way to the top of the list in 2017 and have been selling at least 50 units of that one product ever since then with a 200 to 300% ROI, one of my best. I also used the same strategy on eBay just recently with these Eclipse glasses. It was even more important for me to do that for these because the Eclipse had a time step on it, meaning if I didn't sell them quickly, I was just gonna have to sit on them until the next eclipse. And I am in the business of sales, not in the business of storage, and you shouldn't be either. It's all about turning product into sales. And before we go, let me offer a pro tip that almost no one ever talks about. Stop getting bogged down with all the details that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, like choosing how much and when to promote your product and your listings. Instead, focus your energy on what does matter, sourcing and listing the best products for your customers at the best prices. That is what matters 100% of the time. Most resellers get roped into these endless debates and forego the basics that actually make them money. To make it easier on yourself, promote everything at 2.1%, build the cost into your business, and continue to list. When your business is working as well as my firearm, then you can come back and revisit the details. And you can get nitpicky about everything. And there you have it. I hope this video was helpful in your decision making. Paying ad fees is the cost of doing business. You can either cry like a little bitch and miss out on sales, or you can suck it up, build the cost into your business, and look forward to a better future. The choice is always yours. And if you choose wrong, now get to it and have the best day. And cheers.